iPod, a phone, and an internet communicator. An iPod, a phone. Are you getting it? These are not three separate devices. This is one device. And we are calling it iPhone.
I'm John Blackstone here at Macworld, the showcase for all things Apple. The big attraction here right now is encased in a plastic tube back there, surrounded by an admiring crowd. It's Apple's combination iPod, cell phone, and internet device. It's a sleek aluminum and stainless steel creation. A cell phone doesn't have any buttons, just a touch screen. Just the way the iPod changed the way we think of music, Apple's phone may change the way we think of cell phones. Apple executive Phil Schiller showed me how it works.
First of all, you can just start dialing any number you want with a simple touch screen pad, very easy to do. But more importantly, it syncs with your computer all of your contacts. So everyone you know is in here with all their numbers, and I can simply scroll through them and find them. Or
You can do a fast scroll there?
Sure, you can just with your finger flick up and down the list and find whoever you want to talk to. And I want to call someone, I just touch their name, and I see their numbers, their home number, their work number, whatever I want to call. I just touch it and start dialing it. And it's now calling. End that call. And if I want to check my voicemail, I just click voicemail, and we have something entirely new called visual voicemail. I can now go to any voicemail I want. I don't have to listen to each one in order to get to one. So if I want to hear this fifth one, I just click on it, and it will start playing that voicemail for me. So visual voicemail works really well. So it's the most advanced phone ever made, and easy to use, too. But that's just one of many things it does.
Not just a phone. I mean, it's a computer.
Well, but people don't think of their phones as computers, but there's a lot of high technology in here that does some amazing things. So in addition to being the world's most advanced phone, it is the best iPod that we've ever made. So if I just click the iPod button, I'm now in my music. I can look at it in many different ways. I can look at it by artist, and again, just touch the screen to flick up it and go to any one I want to listen to. I just click on that artist, and then I can see their albums, and I can click on any song I want and just start playing it.
So you start playing it there, the album cover comes up?
Exactly. The album cover
what
comes
happens
up.
if you turn that?
That's great. If you turn it, we have a sensor in it that automatically notices the rotation and puts you into a mode called cover flow mode, where I can now flick across through my albums and pick any album I want, see the songs on it, select one, and just start playing it. Look it back. You can hear it coming out the speaker, but of course I'll have stereo headphones on it as well. So it is the most advanced iPod that we have ever made.
And not just a phone and an iPod.
Correct. Not just a phone, but also an iPod. And now if I go back, in addition to that, it's the most advanced internet communication device. So I can go in and read my mail. And I have mail, and I have it right in here. I can just click on any mail, and it reads the settings from my computer. So it has all my mail set up in here for what are called IMAP and POP servers, and I can read my mail. In addition to reading mail, I can go in and surf the web. And we're live on the internet right now in an advanced browser. I can double-click on any story to zoom in on it and read it.
Well, let's see the photos. Let's see
Sure.
the photo features. And
Let's go back into the photo application. So here I am in my photo. I can look at my whole photo library. I can go to photos on different albums I've inputted from my computer. And I can see the photos, and again, if I turn it, it automatically rotates so I see it full screen.
And you can also change the size of that picture?
Oh, absolutely. Let's get to, here's, for example, two boys sitting on a tree. If I want to see them better, I can just grab it and zoom them in and position them. Bring it back to its size. Go back to all my photo albums.
For a few months, this may be about as close as you can get to Apple's new iPhone. It will go on sale in June for $499. John Blackstone, CBS News, Macworld in San Francisco.
Well, first off, can you just show me this thing? I mean, you really think that this beats all other products out there, and you say that it was born out of frustration with existing products that you and the rest of us use. Tell me about that.
Well, you know, our business, we make desktop computers, but increasingly we make laptops, notebooks, mobile computers, and almost half of our business now is iPods, which are clearly mobile devices. It's very clear to us that the world's going mobile. And we really believe that a device like this, which is, you know, an order of magnitude more powerful than any mobile device or any cell phone that's ever been created, and yet vastly easier to use, is the future. And so that's why we spent the last 2.5 years inventing iPhone. And it's just a leapfrog product ahead of, 5 years ahead of anything else out there.
How much of this is your own unique innovation versus the competition of just being the giant killer to knock everybody's socks off? I mean, they're shaking in their boots at Nokia and Motorola and Verizon, who didn't get a piece of this as of now, and these other companies that now the people who made the iPod and knocked out, or is knocking out, much of the MP3 industry is now entering the cell phone world.
Well, we don't think of it that way. We're a product company. We love great products. So one of the big motivating factors for us is just creating something that we all want ourselves, too. And so that's what we've tried to do with iPhone. We've been working really hard on it for a few years, and not to beat anybody else, but because nobody else was making something that really we thought was the right product. And so we've come out with our contribution, and people will vote with their money, and they'll buy it or they won't. And we think a lot of people are going to love it. So we'll find out soon.
I thought it was interesting that you announced the change from Apple Computer to Apple Inc. today, because I was wanting to ask you, is Apple a computer company anymore? Is it an entertainment company, a media company? How do you describe Apple?
Apple's Apple. It used to be just a computer company, but with the advent of, but always on the real creative side. I think Apple's always been the most creative technology company because it's always been involved in graphics and graphic arts and film editing, video editing. And so it's always dealt with content creators. Most films are edited using Macs. Most records are made using Macs. And so we've always had a role in content creation. And with the iPod, we got even closer to music and now video as well. And so Apple's just been blossoming as this company that makes really great devices, but also helps people get great content on those devices. And that's what we do.
How is it that Apple seems to be cornering the market on what is cool? Are you cool? I mean, who is it who continues to have the ideas that seem to capture the public's imagination? There's a lot of smart people at all these other companies coming up with other devices, and yet people are just waiting with bated breath for the next anything.
Well, I think there's a lot of people doing good work out there. We certainly don't have a exclusive on that. I mean, look at Google. Look at the work they're doing. Yahoo is doing some great work. Sometimes you just have to look in different places. And what's great about Apple, though, is that we combine all the disciplines under one roof. We own the second highest volume operating system in the world, and what many consider to be the best operating system. We write lots of applications. We know how to write great application software. We know how to write great software that goes in devices. We have great industrial design, and we know how to make great devices. And so, we know how to do the devices, the software on the personal computer, and with iTunes Store, the services that can, sell you that content. And we have all of that under one roof, the hardware and all those different kinds of software and services. And there's not another company in the world that has all that, and that has all that, period. And we figured out a way to work together so that we don't have all these silos in the company, but rather we work together towards one end.
What do you think this is going to do to the cell phone industry?
I think it's going to take the cell phone industry to the next level. That's what I think.
And what then is the next cool product? No one bats 1,000. You've been called the Babe Ruth of Silicon Valley. Are you worried that you reach a point where there isn't another killer piece of hardware to come out with to wow the world?
Again, we don't worry about stuff like that. We just try to build products that we think are really wonderful and that people might want. And sometimes we're right and sometimes we're wrong. But I think we're going to hit a grand slam with this.
What can you say to reassure the public and investors that the option backdating scandal won't get in the way of your work and won't take you away from the helm of Apple?
Sure. Well, as you know, we did an internal investigation, and then the board hired a former federal prosecutor who's highly regarded to do an independent investigation. And they looked at the better part of 1 million documents and emails and spent months. And they wrote a report, and they said many things, and one of the things was that none of the current management was involved in any misconduct. And we've given all of this information to the SEC, and I think things are going to be just fine.
Steve Jobs, thanks very much.
Sure.